If you ever wondered how I met this guy here,
How I met this girl here.
then stay tuned. Hey y'all.
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
So if you ever wondered how in the world did we meet, well, we're about to give you the story. So our number one question, at least my number one question is, I have like a couple of them, is how did you meet this guy? What made you say yes? And what was the another one that people be saying?
What did you see in him?
Yes, what did you see in him? You already knew.
I already knew.
Anybody ask you questions?
All the time. How did you meet Robin? What did y'all meet at? The same, kind of like the same questions you had, but
Yep.
similar.
Well, okay, here's the number one. How we met was actually funny story. Okay, so first of all, for anyone who don't know who we are, my name is Robin.
My name is Demetrius.
And we do it's a Payton thing, as y'all can see. We do like a lot of different things. And we have 3 kids and we have 1 adopted daughter.
Yes.
And it's actually Demetrius adopted well, both of them. It's actually my niece, but she's when he met me, that's the funny story. When he met me, I had my niece, and I was like maybe 15, 16 years old, and so I was keeping her. I was babysitting her at the time, and we lived in an apartment complex.
Same apartment complex.
Nope, not the same. He lived across the street.
Yeah.
Yes, he lived across the street, and he used to go down. Well, by my auntie house. My auntie stayed downstairs. I stayed upstairs across the street from him. So he was over there by my auntie house one day. I'm guessing he was liking my cousin. And that's why I heard. I don't know. But I know he was downstairs. And I always go downstairs by my auntie house because it was always popping by her. It's born by us. So I went down there one day with my niece because I was babysitting her, and I can remember, opening the door and he was like, "You need help?" And I was like, "No, I got it." And then all of a sudden, the craziest thing come out of his mouth. Out of all things, he turns to me and he say, "Girl, is that your baby?" And I can remember saying, "Nope." And I like rolled my eyes, and then like I never talked to him for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Mm-hmm.
Like that was just like, And so because I was young, and I don't know what he thought I was older or something. So that's how we really first met.
Yeah.
Now, how do we start going out? That's kind of a long story, but let me see if I can shorten it up.
Shorten it up a little bit.
So I'm gonna tell you first off, I was on my way. I was going to a dance, right? A homecoming dance. It was my first year in high school.
High school, yep.
He was already there. So it was my first year in high school, and I was going to homecoming dance, but I was not going with him. I was going with somebody else. But I didn't want to be that person that, I didn't know him that well, so I needed me a road dog. So the same cousin that stayed downstairs from me, I asked her if she wanted to come with me. And she said, "Well, I don't have nobody else." And so I remember saying, "Well, don't you and the guy across the street, don't y'all go out or something? Why don't you get him?" And she was like, "I don't want to call him." And so I was like, "Give me a number, I'll call him." So I called him. I was like, "I'm the girl from across the street." And he was like, "Wait, who?" And I was like, "The girl from across the street." And I was wondering if you would go, you and my cousin go out, whatever, because they were supposed to have some little thing going on to the dance or whatever. So he told me, "Nah, I got a girlfriend." And I was like, I can remember. I said, "No, you don't." Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah, I got a girlfriend." And I was like, "What's her name?" He told me her name, and to my surprise, I knew the girl, but I still was in denial or whatever. So he was like, that's her calling right now. I'm going to have to call you back in about 5 more minutes. And so I left it alone,
Yeah.
and I was just like, whatever, right? Well, 5 more minutes, he called back. And so he started talking to me and asking me about dance and all that stuff or whatever. And I remember, I don't know if his mama had to use the phone or something.
Yeah, mama had to use the phone.
And he said, well, I'm going to call you back in about 10 more minutes or whatever. And so me, you know, I'm not even worrying about him at all. So long story short, he called back 10 minutes later. We end up staying on the phone talking, just literally talking. Because once I get to know you, I can talk. So I would sit there and just talk and talk and talk. And basically, that's pretty much, we was like friends for...
A good little while. For about what?
For...
Almost a year, huh?
It wasn't a year. It wasn't a year. We was friends for a good while before we...
I thought it was a year.
We went out. It wasn't a year, though. So we just was good friends. Like, he'll call me and talk to me about different stuff. And he was actually... I remember the one time that I didn't want anything to do with him, that he called me and talked to me about his girlfriend. I was like, whatever, who cares? And I remember I had attitude, and I was like, well, you know, we stay right across the street. Why don't you come outside
Exactly.
and talk to me? And so, you know, he came across the street. I can remember he had this little towel. He was just playing with this towel or whatever. And that was the day that I realized that he was shorter than me. He was like, you know, he's like 2 inches shorter than me. So that was the day I realized he was shorter than me. And I was just like, I don't really want anything to do with him. But I still was just like friends. So I really wasn't caring or nothing. But,
you know what was crazy?
What?
That I couldn't talk to you in person.
That's crazy. I was just about to say that.
I couldn't talk to him in person, but I could talk to him on the phone. Now, I don't know
I was just about to say that.
How they worked it or how they went.
We stayed on that porch for a good little minute, and he really didn't say too much of anything to me. And I was at the time kind of, you know, like, why you keep talking to me? You have a whole girlfriend. So that was my thing. Like, why you talking to me? So I'm like, you know, and he really didn't say anything to me that much. And then next thing you know, he said, well, my mom about to come home, and I gotta be inside. So that was that, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't really too much of a talk.
He wasn't talking. He was like, oh, I'll call you later whenever, right? And so I don't know if he called me later or whatever.
I called her around, I think it was about 9 or 8 o'clock that night. I called her.
Probably so.
And we had a long conversation. And that's kind of crazy to me that we spent a couple of hours together in person and nothing happened, but got on the phone, started chit-chatting and talking.
Yep. And so that's what we did. We really just chit-chat, talked for a long time. We was friends for a good while.
Yes.
So I guess we had a chance to get to know each other for a while. So I guess I got his personality, and then, you know, the little shortness of the 2 inches shorter than me, because that was never in my dreams of having a guy around my same height. That was not at all. So I guess I got his personality, and from there, I don't know, we went out. I don't know. One day we had I had brought him birthday gifts and everything. Just never no kind of boyfriend girlfriend. We were just whatever. But yeah, we actually went out. Finally, I think we went out for a good maybe year. Was it about a year?
It was about a year. Yeah.
I went out for about a year, and then I realized that his family didn't like me. His mom didn't like me. His whole entire family did not like me. I don't think they like me now still. But yeah, that's when I realized that they didn't really like me. It was the age difference. Because I'm
it's like
3.5 years.
It's actually 2.5 years.
It's really 3. You're what, about 340 and I'm
39. You're pushing the 40.
So 7, 8, yeah. 3, it's like 3 years. Well, it's really 3.5. It's only because he's about to have his birthday now, not just turned. So yeah, 3.5 years, and she didn't like that because he was 18, and at the time I was 16. So she didn't like the age gap, and my mom had no problem with it. Matter of fact, I think my mom liked him more than she liked me right now, and sitting in my daddy too. But yeah, I realized that they didn't like me that much. So basically, that's how we met. And then, believe it or not, we broke up. We broke up about a year.
About a year. It's about a year.
Yep. Yeah. We had broke up for about a year. He loved me. He loved me for about a whole year.
Yeah.
So, and how did we end up back together? One day I was working. My cousin, she came from Gulfport, and she spent the summer with us, and she remembered us or me talking about him or whatever, and so she happened to get his number, and she called him, and she said that she had already set up a whole date thing, whatever.
Yeah, no.
She had set up everything and said, like, I didn't hear what she said because I was at work, and so all I know is that she told me, you have a date with Demetrius, such date or whatever, and I was like, what, wait, hold up, and she just left out the building, and I was like, no, I'm not going on no date with him, I can't stand him. And so, just so happened the day that he was supposed to call me. The day he was supposed to call me.
I was supposed to go to work. Remember, I was supposed to go to work that night.
I remember the day that you were supposed to call me. That's the day we were stuck in New Orleans on the side of the road. Remember, the car broke down. And so, to my surprise, he actually called. He had called, but he didn't call. It was back in the day we had beepers.
We had beepers, and we had what you call it, the telephones,
No, I didn't have none. I had a beeper, a blue beeper.
Oh,
I remember that. And I can remember that you did call, but you called the beeper. And so I seen that number on there. I was like, oh, I'll be there. He actually called. But, yeah, we didn't go out after that until about, what? I don't know. We went out after that. And then from there, we had Mo. So I was one of those people in school with a kid. My mama said, she think he planned it because we was the parents, because the family like each other. I don't know. But that is basically it of how we met. Now, I think that's it. I was going to keep going on and on about how we got married and stuff, but I'll probably say that or whatever.
We've been knowing each other for about over 20 years.
Right now, we've been knowing each other for about over 20 years. Mm-hmm. We've been married for 16. Mm-hmm. Make sure I got that right. 16. So we've been married for 16 years, and he still is like my best friend. So I don't hate him. I don't want him to, go yet. But somewhere in that 10-year span, I was like, But yeah, he cool peeps. So basically, that is it. That is how we met. We were friends from across the street, and us friends turned into a boyfriend girlfriend. And then we later got married. Yeah. So that is it. So y'all found out a little bit about us too. So I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I guess share it for anybody who was wondering. And you got anything else to say?
If you like this kind of videos, like, comment, share, and
subscribe. Yeah, because we could come back. I got a whole bunch of stories. I guess so. This is story time. So I got a whole bunch of stories of different things. But like some people, I get another question of how y'all stay happy. So maybe next time we'll come back on. We have time and probably share that with you. Some of the ways that we stay happy, sane. Don't get me wrong, marriage is hard, but
it is, but communication is key.
So, yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, y'all. Until next time, I want everyone to stay blessed. Bye, y'all.